If you hold only the risk-free assets and the market portfolio, if you hold only the risk-free assets and the market portfolio, if these are the two investments you have investment in the market portfolio and you have investment in a risk-free asset. If these are the two investments that you have, that's what it means. If you hold only the risk-free assets and the market portfolio. Now, before I continue, I'm going to send a video recording to you, probably today, later today, that will give you an idea of financial statement forecast. Please watch the video. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So I'm going to send that video to you. I'm coming. Let me remind this get sent to me. So I will send the video to you so that you watch it. It's on financial statement forecast. Forecasting financial performance and position. How you prepare your forecast financial statement. So we watch it as well. I would have loved to take it live, but because of our time constraint, now let's continue first. So if the two investments you have is in risk-free assets and the market portfolio, what should be the weight? What should be the weight you will expect? Sorry, what should be the weight that will give you an expected return of what? 12%. Can you see that? You have your investment in just two assets. You have investment in the risk-free assets, and you also have investment in the market portfolio. And you want to achieve a return of 12%. What should be the weight of these two investments? Do you understand the question? Now, this is a straightforward question. It's not different from what we have done earlier. You know, I've given you the formula for computing return on the portfolio. Return on portfolio. Which formula did I give you then? Return on portfolio is equal to return on the asset A multiplied by weight of A plus return on asset B multiplied by weight of B. This formula here is what I'm talking about. So this is the formula I want to use. I now say, nice C. Start from there. C. I want to compute expected weight. Expected weight of the assets in the portfolio. I already told you when we say assets in portfolio theory, we are referring to investment. Your investment can be in non-current asset, it can be in shares, it can be in bond, it can be any type of investment. So we refer to investment as assets. So anytime we say assets, please know that I'm referring to investment. So the weight. This is the weight. This is how to calculate my weight of portfolio. Anytime you hear what should be the, let me go to the question. So that you understand how to interpret question. What should be the weight you should expect? Anytime you are calculating weight, you are using what I call it? You are using the formula for return on portfolio, except when the question is asking to construct a minimum risk portfolio, which I have explained to you, that a minimum risk portfolio is a portfolio you have constructed in such a way that to have the minimum possible risk in that portfolio. That's what we call minimum risk portfolio. So if I want to compute minimum risk portfolio, then it means I will have to find the weight of A first. Whatever I have for the weight of A, I will remove it from 1. I get the weight of B. But this question is not telling you. This question is not telling you to construct a minimum risk portfolio. It's just literally telling you to compute the weight of the asset in the portfolio. Do you understand? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Are we together?
So can you explain that part again? Minimum.
Can I do what?
That part again that you just said. Minimum weight and
Minimum risk portfolio. I want to see. Come in. Look at this. Minimum risk portfolio. Minimum risk portfolio. This is it. To construct a minimum risk portfolio. How did you get about this? Come about this question. Look at it. Look at how the question was asked. Look at how the question was asked. Look at it. So, this question one of it. For the portfolio referred to in one above, calculate the minimum risk portfolio. Look at how the question asking. Minimum risk portfolio. I'm not saying minimum risk portfolio. It's simply saying that I have 2 investments or 2 investments. Please excuse me. I'm understanding you take Okay, sorry, guys. Let's continue. Now look at how the question asked, the examiner asked this question. For the portfolio referred to in one above, calculate the minimum risk portfolio. Now, let us assume that I have 2 assets, asset A and asset B. I want to make sure that I achieve the minimum risk possible. I want to reduce my risk on the portfolio to the minimum possible level. Now, the examiner is now telling me what percentage of my investment should I put in A and what percentage of my investment should I put in B, such that I will be exposed to the minimum risk possible. You do understand that? If you want to solve this now, you are not going to use the formula for return on portfolio. No. You have to go and use the formula for minimum risk portfolio. And that's what we have here. That's what we have here. I said, let weight of investment A be A, Abby. Sorry, be K. So I'm now calculating the weight of K. The weight of K is separated by K. So the whole of this formula here is meant to calculate the risk of, the weight of investment A. Whatever I have there, I subtract it from 1. I get the weight of B. So this simply means that for me to achieve the minimum risk portfolio, I should put 52% of my money in investment A and 48% on investment B. Do you understand that? It's different from this question at hand here. For this question here, the question says, calculate. No, it's this one. The question says, if you hold the risk-free asset and the market portfolio, what set of weight will give you an expected return of 10%? Is it minimum risk portfolio? No, it's not. That's not minimum risk portfolio. It's just normal weight of the portfolio. So that's what I mean by that. Now, let's go back to our solution. Let's go back to our solution. The way you are not seeing minimum risk there, so come and use this formula. Now, what is the return on the portfolio? What's the return on the portfolio? What's the return on the portfolio?
12, is it?
12, Abi? Yes, the question has given you that. We want to achieve 12% return. We want to achieve 12% return. So the return on the portfolio that I want to achieve is 12%. Equal to what is the return on the market portfolio is what? Let's see that. What's the return on the market portfolio?
Okay.
14, Abi? Okay, that's yes, 14. Return on the market portfolio is 14. So I'll say 40%, which is what? Return on the market portfolio, return on market, multiplied by what? Weight of the market portfolio. So let me use A to represent weight of the market portfolio. So I will say RM multiplied by WA. Okay, multiplied by WA. Are you there? Now, plus, if I put my money in a risk-free investment, I should get a risk-free rate. Abi? So plus risk-free rate of return, that's RM, multiplied by 1 minus the weight of what? So this one is weight of market. Weight of the market, sorry. Weight of the market. So minus this. This practically will give me the weight of the market portfolio. Okay? This will give me the weight of the market portfolio in my investments. So I will now evaluate this further. 0.12 will be equal to 14% is 0.14. Okay, times n, times I don't know this. Let me just use a single letter to represent this, please. Permit me to just use K so that it can be straightforward. Okay, let me use K. Let me just use K here. Just a single letter so that it will be easy to remember. You can use any letter of your choice. It's not necessarily you are using W, no. You can use any letter. So I'm using K here instead. So K. Weight of the market is K. So 0.14 times K, 0.14 times K plus the risk-free rate of return is what? 6%, 0.06 times 1 minus K. That's 1 minus K. Now, what will I do? I will multiply, Abi. If I multiply, I should have 0.12 equals 0.14K, 0.14K plus, I will open this bracket here, 0.06 minus 0.06 times K is what? Minus 0.06K. So I will now collect the like terms. I will deduct 0.06 from here. This is having K, this is having K. Okay, so I will have 0.12 is equal to, oh yeah, can you do the arithmetic for me? Oh yeah, give me the value, please. 0.14 minus 0.06. You give me what? 0.08. I'm not mistaken. 0.08K plus 0.06 If I collect my like terms, I will have 0.08K is equal to 0.12 minus 0.06 will be 0.06. So I will now have my K to be equal to 0.06 over 0.08. That will give me what? Talk now.
0.75.
1.75
75.
is 0.75.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I have 0.75. 0.75 is what? Is 75%. 75%. So what does that mean? It simply means that if I want to achieve 12% return on the portfolio, I should put my money, 75% of my money should be used to buy the market portfolio. So the balance that I will spend on the risk-free rate will now be what? Will now be equal to weight of the risk-free assets, weight of risk-free assets, weight of risk-free assets will be equal to 1 minus what? 1 minus K. And what's 1 minus K? 1 minus K is 1 minus 0.75. 1 minus 0.55 is 25%. 25%. So that's all. So for me to achieve a return of 12%, I will have to put 75% of my money in the market portfolio. And what? And is that 1 minute? That's right.
And so I have a question.
Yeah.
The RA, the return
Yeah.
on. Why did you make RA to be return on market first? Can't it be return on risk free?
RA.
Return based on the formula.
I didn't get your question.
The formula.
What happened to the formula?
It was RA before that you put there in the formula.
RM now, market return now. RM. You can't change it here. RM.
So you're supposed to be RM.
Yes.
Because the initial formula was RA times weight of A.
Like that's return on. It depends on the investment you are doing now. When I stated that formula, the investment was investment A and investment B.
I'm not saying that. Can we put investment B first before investment A? Or...
Of course, now you can put anyone first. You get the same thing.
Like if
you
we
get the same thing.
Put risk-free first.
You get the same thing. You can treat anyone before the other. I just have 0.06 times K into bracket 1 minus K. You still get the same thing we got here. Give you the same. So that is solution to C. That is the solution to C. Then I think we have one more, D. Explain this. Go and attempt this one as an assignment. You should be able to do this one. Let me see if it is what we can do. Okay, it's something you should be able to do, but no problem. I can still I'll do it. Don't worry. I'll do it for you.
And a
D.
question in last diet question.
Yeah. We can solve all questions now. After this, go and attempt the question. There's no way you can solve all questions. What you have done here is enough for you to solve that question. I will only explain to you.
There was
And
that question.
you have send the Pathfinder to my WhatsApp now. If you have that question, send it to my WhatsApp now. Let me open my WhatsApp. Do you have it?
Can I snap and send?
Snap it. Snap and send. You don't have to complete my Pathfinder. If you snap and send, it will be story that will not be easy for me.
Okay, let me share the complete Pathfinder.
Share the complete Pathfinder. Share the complete one. If I'm solving that, I will not solve the number 5 again. Because of time. So share, let's solve that. I think that one will be better. Because that one has bond. That one has bond. So I even prefer solving that one because of the bond. Better of bond. You should not have to complete better of bond. Do you understand? Hello?
Yes,
Mrs. Angela? Okay, she has gone out again. Have you shared it?
I'm about to share it.
Okay, now let's go to D. Sorry, 1 minute. Prof. To go check here. Let me look. What is it? So D. Explain the significance, if any, of better concept to investors in quoted companies. What's the significance of better? What's the significance of better? The significance of better to an investor is that it allows investors to be able to know the risk attributed to the shares of quoted companies. If I want to buy the shares of a listed company, what I will ask my financial advisor to do for me is to compute the beta of that company. If, for instance, the beta of the market as a whole, industry beta, if industry beta is 1, okay, and the beta of the company I want to invest my money in is 1.2, then it means that company is much more riskier than the market. Therefore, it's a pointer to me that this investment I want to undertake is a very risky investment, because the beta of the shares of that company is higher than the beta of the what? Of the industry. So in that case, I will have to be careful investing my money in that company. But if I have beta of the industry to be 1, but the beta of the company's asset to be 0.8 or less, then it is a pointer that that company's shares is not as risky as the market. So it's a relatively safe investment that I can undertake. So basically, or in conclusion, better allows investors to be able to assess the risk of shares of quoted companies so that they be able to make appropriate investment decision when buying the shares. So that is D. That's the importance of better to investors. Have you shared the Pathfinder?
Yes, sir.
Let me open my WhatsApp. Sorry, I wanted to come on so that I will download it so that you can quickly tackle that question. Okay, let me see. Okay, very good. That's it. This time with the one I'm talking about the one that has bond. The one that has bond, that's the one I want to solve. This one is which year is that too? To be able to solve this one that we are giving me here. I want to solve the one that has bond with you so that when you have a portfolio theory that has bond, you'll be able to do it. Question what?
Question 6.
Yeah. Now look at this question. Tico piercing. I don't think there is any problem on this product that will not be able to solve it. Honestly, 20 marks. Tico piercing is comprised of only 4 major investment projects, details of which are as follows. Public market value, annual return during the last 5 years, risk standard deviation, correlation with the market. The risk-free rate is expected to be 5% per year. The market return 14% per year, and the standard deviation of the market return 30%. Assume that Tico's PSC shares are currently priced upon the assumption that the last 5 years experience of return will continue for the foreseeable future. Evaluate whether or not the share price of Tico PSC is undervalued or overvalued. Are you telling them that you cannot solve this question A? Mrs. Chiwe?
Sir.
So, can you solve this question A? What do you think they are asking you to do here?
Okay. Alpha value.
You said?
Alpha value.
So as simple as that. So what's the difference?
It's not really as simple as that, Sha. It's not straightforward.
How is it not straightforward?
Okay. Anyway, because you need to calculate the beta.
Okay, so you want them to give you everything before you just
No.
If you say this one is so straightforward, I wonder which one will be straightforward. Because to calculate alpha, definitely, you have to calculate your beta. And I told you the procedure, Abi. Calculate your beta, calculate your required return. Abi?
Yes, sir.
So these are your what? These are your expected return here, 10, 18, 15, 13. 10, 18, 15. So calculate your required return, then deduct it. Expected return minus required return will give you your alpha. And I told you, if alpha is positive, what does that mean? It means the investment is what? Is undervalued. What do you do? You buy more. You buy more. If it is negative, the asset is overvalued. What do you do? Sell. So the class say here, assume that Tico's share are currently priced based upon the assumption that the last 5 years experience of return will continue. All these one are just nonsense stories that you don't need to bother yourself about. All this one here, from here to here, they are just stories that have no impact on what you want to do. Do you understand?
Yes, but in the solution, they multiply it by the market value. I don't know why.
They multiply by the market value.
After getting the beta, they don't multiply it by this market value that is there.
Let's go there. Let's go to the solution answer. With the sort answer. Question 5, Abi? Or 4?
Question 6.
6. Okay.
6.
No, it's 4.
It's 6, sir.
So, question 6. So, they calculated the beta, Abi?
Yes, sir.
Now, they say the overall company beta is the weighted average of what? Of the project beta. Look at it. What page is that?
Question 6.
This is I want to show you.
Yeah.
Look at it. You know this company here? These are the investment the company has, Abi. These are the market value. Tico PSC is comprised of only what? 4 major investment projects. True or false? All these are projects. I want to show you the reason why they multiply. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All this one said, this is 1, Abi. 2. Are they companies? Are these one companies?
Any projects?
Are they companies? Hello?
No. I think they are the
All these are projects now. All these are projects.
Yes.
Abi, these are projects now. These are not companies. So if I want to know that, the shares of this company, they said, look at it. The question is, evaluate whether or not the share of who?
Tico PLC.
Tico PLC.
The share of the project? No. Now, this is what I'm going to do. When you compute the beta of each of these investments or each of these projects, Abi, you know, they'll be better for each of the projects. Now, that is not the beta of this company now. The beta of the company is what? Is the total beta. True or false?
True.
So for me to get the company beta, I need to do what we call weighted average. Want me to do this thing for you?
No, don't do, just explain, sir.
I just explain. Use the answer to explain.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I also don't see.
Let me go back to the answer. Let me go back to the answer. Okay. So when you see a cheap question, don't allow yourself to be deceived and you're not going to do the right thing or the wrong thing rather. Now, like this question, like this one, you know, the computer, you know, they got the better, Abby. That's not a problem, Abby.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is better of project 1, better of project 2, better of project 3, better of project 4. All these projects is under the supervision of who? Of TICO. So I will get one single better for TICO because the question is evaluate whether the share of TICO PSC is what? Is overvalued. How did they put it? So what will you do? To multiply, you calculate weighted average beta. These are weighted of individual projects. You have to calculate the weighted average. For you to get the weighted average, you are multiplying the beta of this by the weight of each of the projects. Do you understand?
The weight is the market value, right?
Yes. So it's like saying that if I want to do it now, it will be the beta of project 1 times the market value of project 1 over the total market value of the 4 projects. Do you understand? Weighted average.
Yes, sir.
Just like your work. So beta of project 2 times the market value of project 2 over the total market value of the project. If you add this, and this, it will give you 1. True or false? Do it. 0.24 plus 0.31 plus 0.17 plus 0.28. It will give you 1. It will give you 1.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So the beta of this company is 0.86.
Okay.
We now use the Capel formula to get the what? To get the required return, the return of the company. This return is not for one project, it's for the company now. I don't know if I get what that's what I'm saying.
Yes, I'm guessing.
Excuse, sir.
Yeah.
So, so when do we know when to do the weighted beta?
That's what I said here. If look at it, I did think this is company 1, company 2, company 3, company 4.
Yes, sir.
You cannot, the question will not tell you to do weighted beta. The question will just tell you, identify which of the shares of the company is overvalued.
Okay.
In that case, whatever beta I computed there, I will use it to compute the what?
The required return.
But here, it's just one company that we have, not 2 companies, not 3 companies. I mean,
okay,
just
with different
one company with 4 investments. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
One company with 4 investments. So the beta of the individual investment should be combined to get one single beta. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, this is the required return of this company. Where is it? Where do you calculate that? 12 point what? 12.7 for Abi?
Yes, sir.
Now, I need to get the expected return now. Isn't it? You do the same thing you do to the beta. Okay? The same thing you did to the beta. You did it to the expected return so that you have one single expected return as well. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That is weighted average of expected return. 10% times the proportion. 10% times the proportion. If you add all this one, you also get 1. So this is the expected return for this company. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, you will now compare expected return minus required return. We give you what? 13.63 minus 12.74. We give you what?
0.89.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
So the share is it undervalued or overvalued?
Overvalued.
Is overvalued. Okay. You say positive now.
Oh, that undervalued.
It's undervalued now. I told when it is positive, it's undervalued. So look at it. Assuming this historical return are expected to continue, the share price of TK is likely to be undervalued as the company is seeing a higher return than expected for its systematic risk. That is all. So you can see how cheap this question is, or is it not cheap?
Sir, it's confusing. Like I told you, this portfolio, if not that you have explained it to us like this. In fact, I've been battling with it. This portfolio thing is actually confusing.
You have been battling with this question.
And it,
yes, sir.
This particular question here.
Different dimension,
yes, different ways. This diet, it will come out straight forward. This diet, they will twist it. Like now, for one to know that this annual percentage return during the last day is what we are supposed to use to calculate the expected return.
No, let me ask you one thing. Let me go back to that question. Let me go back to that question. Look at this question here. Are you there? Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, if I may ask you, if I want to get expected return for the company, you already know that, no doubt, that all these, they are expected return for each of the projects, Abi?
Yes, sir.
And this company has 4 projects. If I now ask you, what is the expected return for this company? How do you think you are going to compute it? You have to compare, look at it. Okay, where talk.
We'll multiply the expected return by the market value, the total of everything.
Is it because I've done it before, or you know that how it will be done?
So it's because you just explained now. I didn't know before.
But it shouldn't be. Even if I have not done it for you before, you should know that if I want to get my return, for instance, if I want to get my return, if I have 4 investments, and I want to get my average return on the investment, I will have to look at my investment in that return and multiply by my percentage return on that. I've invested 28 million on project 1, and it's giving me what? 10% return. So 10% of this. Do you understand? I have invested 70% on project 2, and project 2 is giving me 80%. 80% of this. I have invested 31 million on this, and it's giving me 50%. 50% of this. The total, and also, my return for this year is 20%.
Okay.
If you have a company, like for instance now, my company, we have 4 subsidiaries. Okay? We have 4 subsidiaries. Now, if I want to compute my return for the year, what will I be looking at? I will look at the profit I made. Okay? The profit generated for subsidiary 1. I will now look at what is the asset. What does assets mean? The total asset of subsidiary 1. I will now say the profit I got on subsidiary 1 multiplied by the asset of subsidiary 1 divided by the total asset of subsidiary 1, subsidiary 2, subsidiary 3, subsidiary 4. I will do the same for other subsidiary. I will add it together. I will not be able to say, okay, my company, not subsidiary again, my company made a return of 20% this year. So without me telling you, even though if you are seeing this question for the first, honestly, from what we have done in the portfolio story, is enough for you to answer this question without any issue. The only thing is that you people, you're always expecting that exactly the way you solve question in class, that is the same question that will come out. Have you I lie? The way you have solved the question in class is the exact way you want it to come out. That's the problem. And it will not always be like that. I believe this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is not even the question I want us to solve. Let me go and look for the question I want us to solve, which is very important because I'm very sure if I open that question now, that question is times 3 high, much difficult than this. So let me go and open that question. Now, this one, I've given you this one, limitation of portfolio theory, true or false? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So limitation, discuss why the result above might not correctly identify whether or not the share price of Tico PLC is undervalued or overvalued. So go and read this one off the note, please, so that we don't waste our time. I think those one are theory. It's what you can just quickly identify. Let me see where I will get. Have I closed this thing? I think I've closed it. I have to download. I want to download that part. I think it should be 2019 November exam. Let me see. I must solve that question for you so that I will know that. November 2019 professional. Okay, let me check this. If it is not here, it will be. What is it?
Question 4, November 2019.
Okay, it's question 4.
Yes, sir.
You want that ask bond, Abby? Does it have bond?
I don't know.
If he doesn't have one, that's not what I'm talking about. There you go. Let me just move it once.
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Have you seen it?
I have not.
Question 4.
Okay, this is last code.
Question 4. It's not this one.
It's not this one.
It's not this one. May 2018 question 4.
If you ask you to solve this one now, can you do it? That's it. You cannot do it, have you?
Can try.
You said?
Can try.
This one you just do. That one, I look at
That
it.
is somehow straightforward.
It's straightforward now, not even somehow. Let me go and look for this one, the one I want.
Yeah.
Let me look at May 2019. The one that asked federal government bond. That's federal government bond. Let me look at May 2019. May 2019. This question.
You found it, sir?
You seen it?
No, I'm asking. I'm checking question May 2018 question 4. But
okay. Does he have a federal government bond?
No.
What about 2019 May?
Okay, yeah. May 2019 question 4.
Question 4. This one here. Yes, this one. Good. Now, put yourself in the exam hall now. Put yourself in the exam hall. Evaluate whether or not any of the shares of bond is expected to offer a positive abnormal return. What will you do here? What do you think A is asking you to do?
Alpha.
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 Alpha. What does that mean? Now, I have a stock that I'm holding, and I now discover that the stock is overvalued. What will I do? I will sell it. Abi?
Yes, sir.
When I sell it, I'm making a normal return. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So the kind says, evaluate whether or not any of the shares or bond is expected to offer a positive abnormal return. Now, a positive abnormal return is occur on a share that is undervalued. That's what it means. You know, I said when the alpha is positive, it means the share is what? Is undervalued, Abi?
And then we buy.
What will you do? You buy. So that's what you can say. Evaluate whether from the word positive. Positive. So it simply means that identify which of the shares is undervalued. As simple as that. You can identify which of the shares or bond is undervalued. But because the question wants to test you, it's now say evaluate whether or not any of the shares or bond is expected to offer a positive abnormal return. So it simply means that compute the alpha value and identify those shares or bonds that are undervalued. As simple as that. Now, 2, the pension fund currently has the maximum permitted investment in assets and wishes to continue these strategies. It has a market value of 1,000 million and a beta of 0.62. Calculate the required return from the pension fund if any shares and bonds with positive abnormal return are purchased. State clearly an answer that you make. To discuss the possible problem with the pension fund investment strategy. So let's quickly solve this question. Now you see, now look at it, this 10 marks, this one here, just 10 marks straight. This another 4 marks, that's 40 marks. Let's see. The manager of a pension fund allow an active portfolio management strategy. They try to purchase shares and bonds that show a positive abnormal return. Positive alpha factor in the case of shares. Positive alpha factor in the case of shares. The pension fund is required by law to hold 40%. Look at it. The pension fund is required by law to hold 40% of its investment in bonds. Okay? That is by law. You must have, as a pension fund company or management, you must have 40% of your investment in what? In bonds. 40% in bonds, okay? That is by law. That is statutory requirement. 1,000 million is currently available for investment. 3 shares and 3 bonds are being considered for purchase. 3 shares and 3 bonds are being considered for purchase. The required return on bond, may be measured using a model similar to the capital asset pricing model, where beta is replaced by the relative duration of the individual bond, D1, and the bond market portfolio, DN. That is D1 over DN. Now, where did they give you this information? Because bond beta, there is no beta for bond. Instead, we use duration to represent beta of bond. Do you understand? We use duration to represent beta of bond. And that's why the color give you this information that beta of bond, where beta is replaced by what? Beta is for assets. Okay? Beta is for assets. So when we are doing bond, we are replacing beta with what? With duration. So what measures the risk of a bond is duration.
Duration.
Are you here?
Yes, sir.
When you want to measure the risk of bond, you use what? You use duration. You don't use beta. You don't use beta. Beta is only used to measure the risk of assets, that is shares, basically. But for bond, we use duration to measure the riskiness of a bond. And what do we mean by duration? Duration represents the number of years in which your investment in bond is expected to be recovered. I put 10 million naira in bonds. How many years will it take me to get back my 10 million naira? That is what duration measures. Just like your payback period. Okay? Just like your payback period. You know, we did payback period and we did duration for capital project. The same way you compute duration for capital project, the same way you do for bond. Now, the question is now telling you how they want you to compute your bond. They say bond should be computed as what? Duration of individual bond over duration of the bond portfolio, bond market portfolio. So I will pick the duration of this bond. I will divide it by the duration of the what? Of the bond market. I will get my beta or duration of that bond. Do you understand? So we have this information here. We have, this is our market information. This is APSC, BPSC, CPSC. These are the expected return. 10.5, 11, 9.5, 13.5. These are the standard deviation. These are the correlations. Bond, this is for the bond. We have the federal government bond, this is federal government bond. We have bond of DPSC, bond of EPSC. So note, assume risk rate of 4% per year. So required, evaluate whether or not any of the shares or bond is expected to offer a positive abnormal return. So what will I do? I'm going to compute my required return rather. So let me call this May 2019 question 4. May 2019 question 4. So let's calculate our what? We have to calculate our beta factor. Before that, let me see. Computation of abnormal return. Computation of abnormal return. Computation of abnormal return. So how will I compute my abnormal return? For me to compute my abnormal return, it means I want to compute alpha. Let me see whether I will see alpha sign here. I think I should. Okay, I think I've used it somewhere else before. Let me go and see where I used alpha before. Okay, alpha. So this is what I want to calculate. Abi, for me to calculate this, I need the expected return, I need required return. The expected return is already given. Look at it. These are the expected return, Abi. What I don't have is required return. Now, redemption yield is written as expected return for the bond. Okay, redemption yield. That's the return on bond. Meaning that cost of bond, redemption yield to maturity. Okay. Redemption yield to maturity, cost of bond. That is the return on the bond. Are we together, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I now come here. I say computation of beta of bond or shares first. Computation of beta of shares. Computation of beta of shares. We have for APSC, Abi. Okay, how do we compute beta first? Beta of equity is computed at, I gave you 3 different formulas for calculating beta. You now go back to the question and see which of them we apply. Let's go back to that question. I will now see which of the formula we apply. I say beta can be computed as standard deviation of the market, correlation of the investment with the market. Look at it. So you come here. Look at your correlation. I mean, this is how I have my correlation. So if I'm looking at APSC, if I'm looking at APSC share is having a correlation of 0.6 with what? With the market. Can you see it? This column is correlation coefficient of return with the market. So APSC is having a correlation of 0.6 with the market. So I repeat this. Beta will not be correlation of investment with the market multiplied by the standard deviation of the investment, which is what? Which is 25, all over standard deviation of the market, which is what? Which is 15. So to calculate the beta of A, it will be 0.76 multiplied by 25 all over 15. That's the beta of A. What beta of B? Beta of B. B is having correlation of 0.54 with the market. So 0.54 times 18 over 15 will give me the beta of B. C is having correlation of 0.63 with the market. So 0.63 times beta of C all over beta of the market. So in all the 3 cases, they will have denominator of 15, which is the beta of the market. Did you understand this? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So let us continue. So beta is correlation of the investments with the market. Correlation of the investment with the market correlation of the investment with the market that's one of the formula I gave you. Now you can see that the formula is materializing now. Okay, multiplied by standard deviation of the investment, multiplied by the standard deviation of the investment, standard deviation of investment is standard deviation of I. What do you say?
Is that how you can use the answers to explain to us? I mean, so that
okay, again, Abi. Okay, yeah.
Yes,
We have to be going back and forth. Okay, no problem. Let's go there. No, I think I saw that we save time. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that.
We have a lot to do today.
I have 2 papers.
I think it's better. They are going to give me break of 15 minutes to pray and eat before we continue when it is 4.
No problem, sir.
So that I will not fall down. Maybe I should fall.
You cannot fall.
Oh, don't follow.
Okay. So look at it now, look at the formula. Beta is correlation coefficient times investment standard deviation over what? Market standard deviation. Can you see that? So if I pick A, that is 0.6 times 25. 0.6 is correlation of A with the market. 25 is the standard deviation of A. 15 is the standard deviation of the market. So I have beta of 1.27. You do the same thing to B. Is 0.54 times 18 over 15 equal to 0.65. You do the same thing to what? To C. 0.63 times 35 all over 15 is 1.47. Who did not understand this? Is there anybody who did not understand it? Nobody, Abby?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we all understood it. Now, because I now know my beta, I can compute my required return. Okay, my required return. So my required return is risk-free rate plus beta into bracket market return minus 4. I believe you know how we got our market return. It's given in the question, return on the market.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
We all have the question, Abby. Make sure you have the question so that you can follow it. Right. So we have required return of 12.26 here, 8.22 here, 13.56 here. So I will now say expected return minus required return is giving you what? Minus 1.26. 9.5 minus 8.22 is giving you plus 1.28. 13.5 minus 13.56 is giving you minus 0.06. These are the alpha values. I'm done with shares. I will now come back to bond. For the bond, what are we using? We are using duration. For bond, we are using duration. So duration is what? Duration of the investment, that is the bond, over duration of the market. Duration of the market is 7.5. Duration of federal government bond, if you look at the question, is 1.5. Duration of the bond market is 7.5. So 1.5 or 7.5 is 0.2. Duration of the bond of DPSC is 8.6. Over duration of the market, 1.15. Duration of EPSC is 40.2. Over duration of the market is 1.89. This is the reason why I'm solving this one, because of this bond. That is why I said I must make sure I solve this question for you. It is because of the bond, not because of anything else. If it is for shares, you already have a full knowledge of that, no problem. The only way I have not taught you is bond, and that's why I'm solving this question. So when we ask to assess the risk of bond, we are using duration. Know that. So this is my expected return, which is the what? The yield to maturity. Minus, I compute my required return, the same thing. The only difference is that we are going to have the return on the market. You know, bond market is different from market for equity. So it's not 10.5 we are going to use here. It's the return on the bond market, which is 5.8 in the question. So the risk-free rate is still 4%. The only thing that will change is the beta and what? And the return on the market, because now we are dealing with the market for the bond, not market for equity. So this will give us the following required return. So 4.5 minus this is 0.14 positive, DPSA minus 0.77, EPSA minus 0.2. Now, which of them is offering positive abnormal return? It is only the shares of BPSC and the federal government bond, that is having positive alpha. And these are the two securities that is offering positive abnormal return. Do you understand this? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So if this data are accurate, the shares of BPSC and the federal government bond offers a positive abnormal return. That is all. That is all. That's what the question wants you to do. Now, what's question 2? Let me go to question 2 so that I'll be guided accordingly. What are you ready to now?
The pension fund currently has the maximum permitted investment and wishes to continue this strategy. That's the market will
Okay.
better.
Not just it's question 4. The pension fund currently has the maximum permitted investment in shares and wishes to continue this strategy. It has a market value of 1,000 million and a beta of 0.62. Calculate the required return from the pension fund if any of shares and bond with positive abnormal return are purchased. What are we saying here? The maximum amount we have to spend is 1,000. And the question has already told you that the scientific requirement is that at least 40% must be what? Must be spent on bond. So it means I will have to use 40% to buy bonds. And which bond I want to buy? I will have to buy the federal government bond because that's the one that is having positive abnormal return. And the balance of 60% will be used to buy shares of what? BPSC. So I will now have to calculate the revised what? Weight or revised beta of the portfolio. So let's see what we have there so that we don't waste much of our time. Question 4. So look at it here now. The existing portfolio is what? The one we are given in the question is what? It's 0.6. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you don't understand?
Let me
I'm
check.
sorry. Let me go back there. It's I don't understand what I'm doing.
Okay, yeah. Let's make a value of 4 million and a beta of 0.62.
This company, the company already, look at it. The pension fund currently, look at it, look at the language, currently has the maximum permitted investment in shares and wishes to continue this strategy. Look at it. It has what? It has a market value of 1 million and a beta of what?
0.6.
That is the current investment the company has. That is the current investment. The portfolio of the company presently is 1,000 million and it's having a beta of what? It's 0.62. Now, this 100 million available here is not 1,000. This 100 million available here, we have also been told that 40% will be spent on what? On bond, 60% will be spent on what? On shares. So go and buy 60% of what? 60% of shares of B and 40% of the what do you call it? Federal government bond. So it means I need to calculate weighted average beta. So what will I do? I will say 0.62 beta times this 1,000, whatever beta we have for federal government bond times 0.4, whatever beta we have for the shares of B times what? Times, okay, that should be times 400, times 400 million, and the other will be times what? Sorry? Times 600 million. So what would I do? Look at it now. I believe it should be clear now. Now, look at what this question did. It's not necessary I follow this. Okay? You know it's 1,000 million, isn't it? The current investment, right? Hello?
Yeah, with you, sir.
Which is 1 billion. The one I want to spend is 100 million. Out of the 100 million, I'm spending what? I'm spending 60% on shares of it because statutorily, I must spend 40 million on bond. So 60 million on shares of B, 40 million on bond. What are the better? My current beta, my existing portfolio is 0.62. Beta of BPSC is 0.65. Beta of, duration of federal government bond is 0.2. Sorry, is it duration? Beta now. Beta of federal government bond is 0.2. So you will now calculate the weighted average beta. This times this, 620. This times this, 39. This times this, 8. Add everything together. What do I have? I have 667. So I'll now say 667 over the total market value here will give me 0.61. That is my weighted average beta. You can see that it is not different from the one. Hello?
The market value for existing portfolio is
Yes.
100 million, right?
1 billion, 1,000 million.
Million. Okay, 1,000. Yeah, okay.
Yes, 1,000 million. So you see that what we did here, is it different from the earlier question we saw? Is it different? No, it's not.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
This one now that we are solving,
Mm.
this pension fund. Sorry. The question now, where did we get the shares in B? Why did we select the shares in B and the federal government bond?
Because these are the, what's the standard when you compute your value? Which share will you buy?
The positive one.
The strategy is that the company want to what? The company is looking at shares that are undervalued or bonds that are undervalued. And it is only the share of B and federal government bond that are undervalued here. So that is what we buy. Others are overvalued. So I'm selecting it based on the what? Based on the alpha value. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is my weighted average beta now. So I will now calculate my required return. My required return is what? 7.97%. That's all.
The existing portfolio, that beta, is it giving? 0.62.
Yes, it's in the question.
Okay.
Yes. Now, sorry. No. Then, okay, now we're married today. Okay. What do I need to send you? Oh, I know, sorry. So let us continue. Now, the question now say, what is the problem with the strategy that this special manager is management firm is using? What is our strategy? The strategy is that they are always watching the market, Abby. They are watching the market to see mispriced assets. Are we there?
Yes, sir.
The strategy of this pension management firm is that they are observant of the market. When they see asset that is undervalued, they quickly buy, Abby. When they see asset that is overvalued, they sell. That is the strategy the pension fund is using. What is the problem? The problem here is that the company must consistently study the market. And that strategy can only work where you have a market that is not efficient. Okay? The strategy can only work where you have what? Where you have a market that is not efficient. An inefficient market means that share price will not reflect all information about the company. We have 3 levels of efficient market. We have weak form, semi-strong form, and strong form. The strategy of this pension management firm can only work in a weak form and semi-strong form efficient market. If the market is strong form efficient, the shares of all companies will be correctly priced at all times. It means in an efficient market, the alpha value will always be what? 0. Do you understand? Hello?
Yes, sir.
In an efficient market, expected return and required return must always be the same. So alpha value is always 0 because share price are always correct in the market. So the strategy of the pension fund administrative firm can only work in a market that is either weak form efficient or semi-strong form efficient. It cannot work when the market is what? Is in strong form efficient situation. You will see that I did not read what he said to you, Abby. Hello? If I want to answer this question, that is a problem. That is a problem me I can identify in this question. That is a problem that I can identify. So that is why your professional judgment matters when you are writing professional exam. You cannot say, oh, you want to cram what the partner has put there. I think that's the only correct situation, answer. No, use your professional judgment. For a company that is relying on a mispriced asset, then it means there will be a problem if suddenly the market moves from not being efficient to what? To efficient. And that's the only strategy they have. So if the market is efficient, it means their strategy will fail. Isn't it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
That is the solution to this question. Any question on that? We go on a session for 15 minutes.
Sir, please, when you come back, please, that May 20, last diet question, 2021, the question 1. I just want to know how they got their receivable.
What?
How they got the solution to the what's the name called? When we come back, I'll remember very well.
I'll submit the recording now so that the file is not too